learning from you. Now we move on to Africa. A UN humanitarian flight has landed at Khartoum airport, marking the first flight since Sudan's war began nearly 3 years ago. Denise Brown, the UN's humanitarian coordinator for Sudan, has called the arrival a significant development for aid workers trying to reach millions in need. The flight comes amidst growing concerns over atrocities in Sudan, with foreign ministers from several European countries condemning the violence by Sudan's rapid support forces as war crimes with the potential for genocide. Sudan core group at the UN Human Rights Council has called for international action to protect civilians, end restrictions on humanitarian access, and enforce accountability for perpetrators of violence. Meanwhile, the UN's rights chief warned that the death toll in Sudan has more than doubled in 2025, with thousands of victims still unidentified. Now we welcome Mr. Anuga Olugbengapol. He's a public affairs analyst, joins us live from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for joining us again. Good to see you. Now, looking at Sudan, thank you. Now, looking at Sudan, what's the situation there, and how significant is that, a flight has landed at Khartoum airport safely?
Well, the situation is still tense in Sudan, but the fact that the rebel forces and the government could agree to sort of temporary ceasefire that allows some of the airports that have been closed to be opened. It shows that they are making no progress in the area of getting humanitarian aid into the country and eventually maybe further distribution to people in need. And so it is very significant that humanitarian aid can land safely in the country. Aid workers no longer have to be afraid that their plane will be shot out of the air or there is no place to land on. They have to, go to the neighboring country, then look for unconventional methods to get into the country. So all of these challenges are being eased by the fact that now plane can land within the country. But it still does not speak to the fact that tension in most parts of the country is not subsiding, it's not letting, it still continues. But we believe that at least people, there's shortage of food, there's shortage of medicine, there's shortage of a lot of basic humanitarian aids, blankets, and all the rest in many of the areas that have been affected because people have been displaced from their homes and their farms. So this ability for the humanitarian planes to land is going to really improve the lot of the people to a certain extent. The only fear is that just so that a lot of these humanitarian aids coming in don't fall into the hands of both rebel fighters or government fighters who might seize them and use them, therefore making it impossible for the humanitarian aids to get to the people who have no access to anything, who have no government, who have no support from whoever is sponsoring the rebel forces, and so they are left hanging dry right there. But I just hope that with consistent pressure, and this ability of plane to land will allow a lot of humanitarian agencies to have first-hand on-site experience, or to also be able to probe further, get some of the information that have been kept secret out of the country also, so that the world will be able to really get in real time the true picture of the atrocities that are being committed by both sides, both the RSF and government forces. So that is really a significant step right there. But we hope and pray that the people of Sudan who really need, that this violence should stop, will able to get some of this humanitarian aid, and hopefully both RSF and the government will find a middle ground to allow peace to come into the country.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for sharing that. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next news as well. Now moving the focus on to Nigeria, at least 25 people have been